Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. I'm Rick Marks. I wanted to look a little bit, this is the book I'm reading at the moment, Digital Minimalism. It's quite an interesting read, and where I'm currently at, it's talking about paper, scissors, rock, and that there was, back in the early 2000s, a tournament, a championship about paper, scissors, rock, and I'm sure we're all familiar with it from my days at school with Japanese. There was a Japanese version of it as well. So I'm sure it's a global game, I guess. And they look at the fact of psychology behind it and whether or not there is actually a way to work out whether somebody's going to play scissors, rock, or paper when competing. And I thought it's quite an interesting one because how aware are we as individuals of the psychology behind our decisions, the thought process of why we do what we do, and what we can do to better understand that. As I've talked about it previously, solitude and being still, finding our, I suppose, center, quietening the noise. You can journal. I find that really helps to purge thoughts and get it all out. And what I'm looking at the moment is free diving. So if you're not familiar with free diving, there are a bunch of people out there that like to essentially scuba dive without an oxygen tank. Obviously they're not going to the same depths or the same duration, etc. But free diving is all about the breathing. And that's what I guess I've been looking at now. It's probably similar to a meditative quality. But I'm looking into now how we can control our breathing and gaining insight further into that. So where am I going with it? It's giving it more thought and realizing again that each decision, each thought that we have, if we're not actually, I guess, deciphering and understanding the why, the how, and the what, where, all the information within that decision, and that's what I've been really working on as well, is just slowing everything down. And I guess that's the thing as well, is slowing down the breathing helps to keep you calm. And a lot of that free diving, breathing exercises and stuff, it's about staying calm. And I remember when I first got back into swimming, and a lot of people struggle with this when swimming. You put yourself in water and your fight or flight kicks in, you can't breathe. You can't breathe underwater. And for a lot of people, you have to work through that psychologically and teach yourself how to overcome that. And I suppose that's that reality of, that's then taking it to the next step for me, is that free diving and learning to be able to hold your breath for an extended, much longer period of time, and being able to, and that's the goal. I'm not necessarily interested in the scuba dive, free diving element per se. In time that may come, but for now it's more just about learning that skill. Because by learning that skill, you're controlling and changing how your brain is perceiving the fight or flight, and you're not then going to fall into, I'm underwater, I can't breathe, alert, panic, try and get out. And that's that thinking. So I guess if each thing that you do in life, if you're just doing it, why? And that's what I've started doing. Every decision, every thought that I have, why am I doing this? Or why do I want to do this? And then assess that and work out if there's not a good outcome and it doesn't align with my future goals or plans, then it's just additional noise. And it's almost like thinking about a purchase and going, do I actually need it or not? And I often stall on buying things because I find that's the way that I can validate whether I actually need it or not. Because if I can get away with a week, 2 weeks, and before I know it I've forgotten about it, then clearly I didn't need it. But in the moment I've gone, oh, that would be the most fantastic thing, it could help me so much with whatever, and I can convince myself that purchasing that will help me to achieve something. But often that's not the reality. So that's part of like working out. So that's just buying stuff and then working out and going, but how can I do it else how? So, you know, it goes beyond that to why, and I've shared this before, doing the 5 a.m. wake ups. At the moment, the struggle that I often lay in bed and I can talk myself around, and we can always talk ourselves out of it and staying asleep, or we push through and we realize that it's going to ruin our succession and stuff. And like on the weekend, I had an injury to my back and it was sore. And I woke up in the morning and I thought I could just go for more sleep and that would probably help my back. And, you know, and there was up points and selling points to that decision. But instead I also then looked at it again, slowing down the thinking and assessing it all before making a decision. And I went, but if I got up, I'm sticking to my goal, I'm staying on target, I can go and do some stretches and try and like stretch out this and do some reading, have a bit of like a mental day versus necessarily going and doing a bike ride or swimming. And so changing that mentality of being like, I'm sure probably laying in and sleeping in could have helped. I can't guarantee it either way. But by getting up, and I looked at a number of different exercises I could do and ways that I could try to get rid of this pain in my lower back. And I spent that time that I would normally go swimming and stuff, I just spent it doing some slow stretching and stuff, and I'm feeling a lot better. So that realizing that you've got those left and right turns, but it's easy often for us just to go, oh, I'll just sleep in because I'm just feeling so miserable and tired, and you know, we've had kids' birthdays and stuff, so my night has been later going to bed, so getting up has been more challenging. But I guess that's that reality of looking at the whole picture and working out why am I doing it and what's to gain. And I felt that by me sleeping in was going to ruin my, I guess my continuity in my sequence for creating this new habit of getting up early, because then I'm just making an excuse. And then I can almost guarantee the next day I've allowed an excuse to stop me from achieving my goal, and it just ripple effects on. And before I know it, I'm no longer getting up early and I'm back into you know, my old ways, sleeping in and what have you, versus getting up and kicking the day off early. So I guess I implore you, think about, why do I do it? What's to gain? Assess everything in the picture. Don't just jump on board because it sounds good. Look at all the data, analyze it all, and then work out whether or not it aligns with your personal goals and accomplishments. Because we take on a lot of white noise. There are a lot of people at work that will take on extra duties and stuff without necessarily thinking about whether or not it aligns with them and whether or not it's going to serve them. And if it doesn't, then it's just going to make it harder for you to achieve your goals, because now you've just got more hurdles you've got to get over to start pursuing your goal. So if you enjoyed it, thumbs up, hit the subscribe, 9 a.m, Monday to Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and you'll see me tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Thanks guys, bye.